Hi, this is Chuck Oliver. Welcome to this week's Hidden Wealth Solution Review. Well, get ready for the major Biden tax bonanza. Because just when I didn't think, or many of you didn't think it could get worse, just this week it was announced, the absolute likelihood, if you can believe this, and I've talked about this regularly, right, that this new rescue bill that just passed, this 1.9, whatever you call it, trillion COVID relief bill, it's now positioned as the Rescue America bill. Folks, it had like 9% to do with actually getting our country back on track and impact for those that were impacted by COVID. Everything else was museums and bridges and all kinds of just foreign nationals and funding things outside of really taking care of the people here in the good old US of A of our country. And it has more to do with buying votes. I mean, we're just seeing a barrage of the fallout of this Biden administration, and it's only going to get worse before it gets better. But the one that I think is really going to blow your socks off is that the next bill, which they're going to push through, as we're hearing, after September, because they've already shoved and taken advantage of this bill with not one Republican vote through this reconciliation approach, where they basically can get things pushed through with basically no outside vote interference from the Republican Party, is they have to wait till after September. So they even caught on a hot mic between, two Democrats, Buttigieg and the Democrat out of Maryland, talking about, hey, well, we'll push this through the reconciliation, right, with everything else we want to get pushed through. And here's what they're projecting it to be: as much as $4 trillion. I thought it was going to be roughly another $2 trillion. They're saying it could be as much as more than double what this last COVID relief, Rescue America plan, right, that has got concocted with basically bailing out blue states. And if you thought that was bad enough, the blue states that got the bailouts, New York is a perfect example. They're still going to raise taxes on their state citizens. They're going to push their state tax rate to almost 12%, 11.85%. They raised the state tax from 16 to 20%, and they're also creating a higher state capital gain tax. And many states are actually creating brand new state capital gain taxes, to obviously incorporate finding more revenue that they need because of bleeding out with not getting their states back into the mix because of basically whatever political ploy to not have Trump get reelected or whatever it may be. This isn't fear-mongering, folks. This is teaching you the facts, and it's the truth. So think about it. Imagine $4 trillion more. How's that going to be paid for? Our national deficit now is approaching $30 trillion. We're already over $28 trillion. And I'll teach this coming Tuesday, what you can do to protect your serious money and get your tax planning done, right? So it doesn't go outside of 2021 when you're going to kick yourself before these tax rates that they're predicting now are going to kick in 2022. So the time to get tax savings done is while there's time still to get it done in 2021. Go to retirementprotected.com. That's retirementprotected.com. And it's a login and learn registration, right? Educational webinar. And I'm going to teach you what the ultra wealthy have done and what we've helped clients, your friends and neighbors, all from around this country to seriously protect and insulate their incomes from the IRS and their savings from Uncle Sam and their inheritance to their children. Because it's not enough that we're going to have more taxes come out. Again, not only for those that have incomes of $400,000 or more, right? Many of you high income earners I work with, there's many things that you can still do. But when you raise the corporate tax rate from 21 to 28, which is now been announced officially this week, then everybody pays for that because the corporations have to pass that higher tax on through to you and I, the consumer. So don't buy the Biden lie that nobody's taxes are going up unless you make over $400,000 a year or more. That's the naivety of the left to get everybody to buy into their votes. And look what this vote got you. For those of you listening that really did not think about the outcome of what the vote reality would be. Most of you, and I would have to hope to pray almost all of you listening, understand what's coming. And I want to teach you there's things you can then learn to protect yourself in what's coming, especially with the higher taxes and this higher tax bonanza that's on its way. And I'll leave you with one final thought. If you thought that taking $2 trillion and then pushing through another $4 trillion was just almost unheard of, add to the fact that now the states that got bailed out are also raising their taxes in lots of different levels and creating new taxes to boot for their states. But add to the fact that you've got the Treasury Secretary Yellen coming out this last week, and that it's called, I have to actually look it up. It's actually called, I can't believe this, it's called a global minimum multinational company tax. So they're looking for taxes on a global scale, a federal scale, a state scale, property taxes, estate taxes, capital gain taxes. Folks, it just goes on and on and on. The good news is you can protect yourself. Go to retirementprotected.com, retirementprotected.com. Imagine 50% plus of higher net spendable income, insulating your income from the IRS, protecting your inheritance from Uncle Sam. Learn how now. Let's get to work. Retirementprotected.com.